How's it going today, guys? My name is JSP, and yesterday, the same day, I'm wearing the same shirt, same outfit, same day. Um, Yesterday, I made a video about the Colts possibly trading up for the number one overall pick, but I think it was kind of confirmed. Okay, if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. I explain my opinion on the matter over this interview where Jim Irsay says, like, pretty much, we like this guy from Alabama and we want him, pretty much. That's pretty much what he said. But today I'm going to go over what can the Bears expect out of these teams in compensation when it comes to the draft. How many picks, players, whatever. The draft is in a couple months. I'm excited for it. We haven't had much news. Maybe we've had the Colts hiring head coaches. We've had the Cardinals hiring head coaches, but in terms of extensions, re-signings, all that, I know free agency doesn't start till March 15th, in another month from now. Literally, it's February 15th, but you can still trade for people. You can still sign people, but it doesn't become official until March 15th. So you can still do all this stuff, but it doesn't become absolutely set in stone, cemented until March 15th. So anyway, what can the Bears expect from any team that wants to trade for the number one overall pick? Now, it doesn't exactly work the exact same way because it matters who is trading for it and what position they're in, okay? So if the Texans want to trade up and get their guy, they're probably going to have to give up a bunch because the Colts are going to be a competitor, okay? So the Texans need to give us at least a first-round pick, their first-round pick, and then maybe their second-round pick this year, and then maybe their second-round pick next year. At least 2 second-round picks for the first overall pick. I don't think we're going to get another first-round pick for next year for them just trading up one spot. But at the same time, Ryan Poles has been our GM for 1 year. I haven't really seen him work his magic, so I don't know what he can get out of these teams. We will have to see. I hope he doesn't get fleeced or anything because it's a definite possibility. I have all the faith in the world in Ryan Poles. I think he's going to be a great GM, but he hasn't shown me anything that makes him a great GM yet. Yes, he got rid of all these big contracts. Yes, he hasn't shown me anything yet. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the Cardinals are next. I don't think they're going to trade for us. There's no reason to. They got their guy, Kyler Murray, but I don't think he's going to play pretty much all next year, maybe till like week 10. But who knows? ACLs, they heal differently depending on person to person. So next is the Colts at number 4. I think this is the most likely scenario, like I explained in my last video. This is most likely to trade with Ryan Poles because it's not down that far. It's only from 1 to 4. And you can still get that high-level talent like a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson. And I think the Cardinals are going to pick one of those two, and we are going to take one or the other. If they take Jalen Carter, we'd take Will Anderson. If they take Will Anderson, we'd take Jalen Carter. I think that's how it's going to go down, and I would not be mad at all because if we didn't have anybody who wants to trade up for the number one overall pick, and I don't think that's true, we would be taking one of those two first overall, and I believe it's going to be Will Anderson if we pick at number 1, but I believe we are not going to. I don't know if Ryan Poles is going to try to trade back twice, maybe trade up with the Texans, and then some people say that maybe the Colts trade up again, which doesn't make sense to me because why would the Texans trade up and then the Colts trade up to number 2 to get in front of the Cardinals? It makes no sense unless they don't want to take a quarterback, which also doesn't make sense. So I don't really see Ryan Poles trading back twice unless it's with, like, you trade with the Texans or the Colts, and then you trade maybe with the Saints or the Raiders because they need a quarterback or they need more picks. And I'm pretty sure maybe like the Browns are the only team that don't have a first overall pick or something like that. And then the Dolphins too because they forfeited it, whatever. But the Texans, or I mean the Colts. Let's go over that. The Colts, I believe if you want to trade up from 4 to 1, the minimum you need to give us is 2 first-round picks this year, next year, 2 second-round picks this year, next year. That is the minimum. That is the minimum, and maybe a player. Maybe not like a Quentin Nelson or anything, but a player. So that is the minimum, okay? The next most likely team, I think, is the Raiders. The Raiders can trade up for the number 1 overall pick, and if you want to trade from 7 to 1, okay, you're going to call me crazy. 3 first-round picks this year, next year, the year after that. If you want your guy, if you fall in love with this CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, you give us 3 first-round picks. I know that sounds crazy. I know I keep bringing this Trey Lance trade in here, but it is the number 1 overall pick in a QB-heavy draft. You have a lot of competitors for the number 1 overall pick. And the San Francisco 49ers fell in love with Trey Lance, and guess what? They gave up 3 first-round picks for number 3 overall. Number 3 overall. Okay? This is number 1 in a QB-heavy draft when you have a lot of competitors. So if the Colts are demanding here, take 2 first-round picks, okay? What does Ryan Poles say to the Raiders? You want the first overall pick? Trade from 7 to 1? Guess what? You need to give me 1 more first overall pick, or at least first pick, first round. So either that or give us 2 first-round picks in Darren Waller, or 2 first-round picks in Josh Jacobs. All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Another sleeper team to me is Panthers, Saints. I don't believe that it's going to happen, but it is. I'm not going to rule it out. The Saints, Panthers. The Saints might be in on Derek Carr, so I might be pushing that aside because the Saints seem to be. They might want Derek Carr, but they don't want to. But they don't want to spend a lot of money on him. They don't want to trade any picks for him. So I don't know if that's going to happen 100%. Panthers need a quarterback. Okay, there's no way around it. I think they have a good defense. They have a decent team. They played pretty good with PJ Walker some weeks. They played good with Baker Mayfield some weeks. They played good with Sam Darnold some weeks. They just don't have the answer at quarterback. Okay. I don't remember where they stand. I think it's like 11 or something like that. So I don't know if Ryan Poles wants to trade back that far. But if you're going to trade from 10 and below, you better, like I said, with the Raiders, it's like a small possibility we get 3 first-round picks. It's probably not going to happen. If you're trading from like 10 and beyond to 1, you better believe the minimum is 3 first-round picks. The minimum. The minimum is 3 first-round picks. So I'm not even going to go over anybody under number 10 because 1, I don't think Ryan Poles will do it. And 2, that's my answer. 3 first-round picks if you're past number 10. It's just going to happen. Going from 12 to 1, from 15 to 1, from 20 to 1, it takes a lot. Okay, so if you need a quarterback and you are lower down, you better be ready to give up more. Okay, I'm pretty sure the San Francisco 49ers, when they traded up for Trey Lance, they were at, I think, like 12, and they traded to 3, and they gave up 3 first-round picks. I hate that I keep bringing it up, but it happened, okay? It happened, okay? I know, it's very unlikely. It's once in a blue moon that ever happens, and the 49ers GM was stupid for doing that. I know, okay? I know these things. I know. But it happened, okay? It doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but it also doesn't mean it won't happen again. It won't not happen again. It could, and it did, and it might, and it probably will. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bear down.